Hello guys, welcome to Math Vantage. So in this video we are going to talk about the two ways of contingency table. So this is the first table that we are going to talk about, then I'm also going to show you the second table of the contingency table. These are the tables that you should expect in the exam, right? So and we are going to do these examples on how do we find the probability when given the table. So let's start. So if you can check, we have the table there which it shows the 200 grade 11 learners classified according to grade, according to gender and the maths performance, right? So this is the maths performance, and they are also classified according to the gender. As you can see that we have males and females, right? So before we can solve our questions, I just want us to check something. If you can check a row of males, it's males whereby we have 46, 56, whereby the total number is 102, meaning the total number of males they are what? They are 102, right? And the total number of females is going to be what? We can see that it's 98, right? So this is the number of males, the total number of males, and the total number of females. So this 46 here is the number of males who passed. So meaning the number of people who passed for males, they are what? 46, and who failed, they are what? 56, right? And if we check for females, the number of people who passed in females, they are what? 68, and who failed, they are 30, right? So yeah, and the total number of people who passed, including both genders, they are what? 140, right? And then the number of people, the total number of people who failed, including both genders, they are what? 86. So in total, the number of learners, they are what? 200, right? So now let's start solving the questions that we have. The first question says, if a learner selected randomly from this group, what is the probability that the learners is male, right? So now we're going to check the probability of the learners which they are male. Remember that we need the total number of males. So what is the total number of males? The total number of males is 102, right? So it means we're going to have the probability of is male is equals to the total number of males is 102 divided by the total number of learners is what is 200. It's here guys. So meaning if you have if you add everything here, you are going to get 200, right? So we are done with the first one, whereby 102 all over 200 is going to give us 51 all over 100, right? Therefore, we are done with the first question. So even though we were asked to determine the probability that the learners is female, we are going to check the total number of females, whereby it's 98. Therefore, it was going to be 98 divided by 200, right? So now, the second question says, what is the probability that the learners passes, right? So it was not specific that the females or males, but then all the learners that passes. So therefore, we're going to check the total number of the learners who passed. So which we can see that it's what? It's 140. If you can check this row of pass, here it is, whereby it's 140. So therefore the total number of the probability of the learners who passes is equals to 114 divided by the total number of learners, which is 200, right? Which is going to give us 57 all over 100, right? Therefore, we are done with the second question. Like, and also on this one, if we were asked to determine the probability that learners failed, it was going to be the total number of people who failed, which is 86. Therefore, it was going to be 86 divided by 200, right? So, number three, what is the probability that the learners is male and passes? You can see that now they are specific that they don't only need the number of learners who passes, but then the male, the number of males who passes, right? So we have male and pass. So how do we do that? We are going to check the row of males, the column of males. Here it is. We have male here, and where is pass? And then we have pass here. Therefore, we're going to draw something like this. Where do they meet? You can see that they meet when at 46. That's where the males and pass. You can see that. So this is the probability that learners is male and passes, right? So we can see that the total number is 46. Therefore, the male and pass is going to be 46. Therefore, we divide everything by the total number of learners, which is 200. Therefore, 46 divided by 200 is going to give us 23 all over 100, right? So you can see that, guys, right? So like if we were asked to determine the probability that the learners um, is female and failed, right? So if it was female and failed, this is what we're going to do. We're going to check the column of females and fail, right? And then we draw a line where they meet. You can see that they are going to meet where at 30. So therefore it was going to be 30 divided by 200. It was for male and passive. It was for female and fail, right? So now number four is different because it says what is the probability that the learners is female or passes. So whenever you see this with or passes, you don't solve it like the one we did for and. It's different. So for or we are going to write um our formula, our additional rule formula, if you still remember, which is the probability of female or pass is equals to, therefore it's going to be the probability of female plus the probability of pass minus the probability of female and pass, right? So this is the formula that we are going to use to solve the probability of female or passes. So in simpler terms, whenever you are asked to determine the probability of two events but there is or not and, so you must use the additional rule formula, which is this one, right? So and how do you see that you use the correct things? Remember, you are asked to determine the probability of female and passes. If you can check from the additional rule formula, we have female whereby I represent it as SF, and we have pass whereby I represented it as what? As P. Can you see it? So and then for probability of F, I took it from F or P. So you can see that it's just the probability of F plus probability of P. So yeah, that's how we do it. And then what is the probability of female? We can calculate the probability of female. How can we calculate the probability of female? The probability of females, what is the total number of females is 98. Therefore, it means we're going to have 98 divided by 200. I hope you guys can see it. The females, the total number of females here it is, which is 98. We talked about it. Plus, what is the probability of passes? We now know what is the probability of passes, right? Which is the total number of 114. 114 divided by 200 minus the probability of female and passes. So it's and we know how do we calculate female, like the two events whenever there's end. It's female, then we go to female, and the same one and pass. Therefore, pass is here. So female and pass, they're going to meet that way at 68. Can you guys see it? Therefore, it means we're going to have 68 divided by 200, right? So in total, we are going to have 18 all over 25. This is the probability of female or passes. And then we are done solving this type of questions. So now I want us to talk about the second table. So let me just erase some few things here so that we can talk about the second table of the contingency. Okay guys, this is the second table of contingency that maybe you might find it in your exam. So if you don't find the first one that we talked about, you're going to get this one, or the second one, which is this, right? So you'll be given the unknown values. The first question that you'll be asked is to determine A, B, C, D, and E, those unknown values, right? So how can we determine these unknown values? Remember that in this table here, we are given paths whereby A and B, they are not known, but the total number is 114. So it means if we add A and B, we must get 114, right? But then we have two unknown values so that we can't be able to solve it now. And then when we come to fail, we have 56, C, and 86. Can you guys see it? So how can we calculate this? We know that the total number of fail is 56 plus C, therefore we must get what? 86. So if you need to solve for C, you're going to say, we know that 56 plus C is equals to 86 because it's the total number of people who failed, right? Therefore C is going to be 86 minus 56, which is going to give us, our C is going to give us 30. Can you guys see how we solve it? Therefore, now we have 30 for C, right? Now we have 30 for C. Which one can we solve? Now we can check for the total number for this one, this row. We have D and E, but then we can be able to solve for E because we have 114 plus 86, and this is the total. So it means 114 plus 86, it must give us E, right? So it's going to be 104 plus 86 is equals to E. What is our E? Our E is going to be equals to 200. So now we have 200 here. Can you guys see it? Therefore, if we have 200 here, whereby is the total number here, it means we can be able to solve for D, because meaning when we add 102 plus D, we must get what? 200. Therefore, it's going to be 102 plus D is equals to 200. Therefore, our D is equals to 98, right? And you can also prove it. How do you prove it? You're going to say 102 plus 98. You must get 200. And you can also prove it by saying this 200 minus 86 minus this 86. You must get 140. So you can also see that you made mistakes somewhere. So now we have D, which is 98. We are left with what? With B and A. But now we can solve them because we have C and D, which is 30 and 98. So meaning we can solve for B. We know to find B is going to be plus our C, which is now 30, is equals to our D, which is now 88, right? Therefore B is equals to 98 minus 30. Therefore our B is going to give us 68. Can you guys see it? Therefore, after finding this field, we know that we can find A because now we have 68 here. And we know that when we add A and B, we have to get 140. Therefore, we use the same procedure whereby we are going to get 46. So these are the two types of questions that you must expect or you should know, because the examiner might use the first example that we dealt with, or he must take this one whereby you must find the unknown values first before you can calculate those probabilities. So this is the end of the lesson. If you find this video useful, kindly subscribe and like, and also share it with your friends. Thank you.